that 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 probably sounded far more exciting. Like it was some like that probably sounded a lot more exciting. Like it was some kind of like mystical frosty beverage, like, just flowing everywhere. It was a Sprite. Even less exciting, it's a Sprite zero sugar. Anyway, what's up, y'all? It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night. Here in beautiful, balmy Orlando, Florida. For all my Swifties out there, Florida. That's how we officially say it now. If you're same way we say California. I'm punchy enough that I'm singing. For my bad take on singing. So I say, what's up from Sapphire? SAP Sapphire, the annual festival of all things that go business. I don't know what else to call it. But I'm here. It is great to be here once again. For those of you who know me and have been around me long enough, even dating back into my CMO Council days, you know that SAP has always been kind of a funny part of my journey as a marketer, as someone running executive networks, someone dealing in content, all the stuff that I have done in my past, and that not only have I been around organizations and I've been at organizations that have run on SAP, but have had a lot of fun times here at Sapphire. For those of you who have had cocktails under that big giant airplane at Universal, you'll know what I mean. It's a good time to be had by all, but it's also a good time for SAP to bring all of its users, bring all of its customers, bring all of its prospects, and all their partners together. And that's really what we got to witness here on day one of Sapphire. Listen, there are a ton of announcements. Here are a couple of the top ones that if you're going to go and spend a little time, maybe using the Google machine, you're going to want to look up. If you're an SAP customer, you are likely already hearing about this from sales reps. These are things that I would kind of sit up and pay attention to. It should not come as a surprise, especially considering that in February, a good deal of SAP's conversations with us analysts and also around some announcements and launches that they had in the February timeframe, that Business Data Cloud is very much a reality for SAP and for SAP's customers, and that they are continuing to grow and they're continuing to innovate on that platform, on that concept, and they are pulling data together to really make it not just usable for the business and how the business is running, but really for AI. And it has been refreshing. It has been positive. It has given a lot of customers a whole lot of renewed excitement about where their programs can go because of how and where their data is coming together with what is known inside of the big blue anvil as BDC. Yes, SAP is a company that also likes its acronyms, and y'all know how much I enjoy keeping up with alphabet soup with companies who like their acronyms. So here we go. BDC has not only become a viable and critical location for business data and a business's data to exist, and for models and for processes to not only run through but run on. BDC, based on announcements that have been made here at Sapphire, is also a place where partnerships are flourishing. And there are several partnerships that Adobe included. It's at night, and clearly this is just a Sprite, so I promise I will ramble, but I will get these words out correctly. There are a lot of partnerships. You know that the one that had my ears perk up the most was Adobe. But they've got Thomson Reuters. They've got there are multiple partnerships that involve BDC that are very, very interesting. Accenture, Moody's, Palantir. You have Thomson Reuters. This is where applications that can be on Business Data Cloud can now really bring this data, this intelligence, this insight and information from anywhere to anywhere in the business, thanks to not just BDC, but also to the IT application, the AI application tool. But let's kind of double tap into the Adobe portion of that. It was announced on the main stage by Mohammed Alam that Adobe and SAP would be partnering to create an intelligent application that is built on SAP's Business Data Cloud that is going to combine that SAP supply chain and financial data, that critical data about the business, with all of that Adobe digital experience data that sits across AEP, another little bit of alphabet soup, so there, sits across Adobe Experience Platform, so that you're now really bringing this, all of the things that we've been talking about for so long, insight and information about the business, insight and information about the customer. Now we're bringing that into real focus and real usable focus, right? So now we can take these demand signals. Now we can take this high fidelity signal that comes directly from our customers that we can extract through Adobe Experience Platform and all of the applications across the Adobe suite. We're now going to enrich that. We're going to now see that. We're going to now add that to the power of SAP's Cloud ERP solutions. This is about precision. And this is about amplifying that rich decision velocity so that we aren't just trying to get to that point of precision marketing. In fact, we're getting into that precision of contextual marketing, right? And that's what I get really excited about. And so when I see that partnership and when I see that those motions are in play, I get real excited about that. But I also don't forget that there was also another partnership that was also on the tip of everyone's tongue, and we got to see a smiling Anil Chakrabarti on almost like every banner throughout ServiceNow. So again, when we start to think about the workflows and the work and where this data goes and how work is starting to come together in this new agentic human digital landscape, now all of a sudden we're not talking about what if I could ever get Adobe information and Adobe data into and combined with my HR, my field service, my service desk, with my ERP, with my supply chain. We're not talking about those as segmented remote possibilities. So I really liked hearing those announcements. Now, when you think about all that data, when you think about all of that intelligence and all of that insight coming together, I absolutely have to bring up something that both Christian Klein, SAP's CEO, and Dr. Philip Herzig, the AI guru, I think we decided to name him the king of AI, but I'm not quite sure, at least for SAP. I think the ballots are still out on what Philip's new title is. But with the announcement of Joule everywhere, that this AI, that this interface, that this UI will and can be presented in multiple locations, that you are going to get not just Joule everywhere, but intelligence everywhere. The demo that we saw, terrific demo today from the main stage, working in ServiceNow with a Joule toolbar down at the bottom, and just be able to pull up Joule and ask, hey, what's going on with our business and our suppliers? I see these tickets come in, but are we going to be able to fulfill this? Are we going to be able to see this based on where our suppliers are and where our supply chain is working? What's happened across the rest of this relationship? It's moments like that where we can up-level intelligence from that AI and knowing how much focus we are putting in that AI orchestration, where we are taking those multi-agent environments and those handoffs that have to happen organically, where workflows can pass off and exchange and connect those pieces. We're not literally sitting there trying to put the plug together ourselves, getting electrocuted while we do it. That's the next phase of what we've all been trying to do and what we've all been waiting for, right? So I was really excited to see that come to life, not in some vast forward-looking, we might get to it in the next 3 years, but very much it's delivered now, or it's getting delivered in the next 6 months motion from SAP. Lots and lots and lots of announcements. Check out their blogs. check out news. Larry Dignan in Constellation Insights has been cranking out the news this week. He's busy. There's been a lot this week that's been going on. But there's also a lot of good announcements and a lot of good news announcements. Of course, you can expect that agents are in that rollout, and there are absolutely new out-of-the-box agents that SAP is introducing, and they are very, very specifically focused around critical business tasks and business tasks that are going to bring that efficiency and bring that time back to the people and bring that time and efficiency and that money back to the business. So definitely go look for that list, because I guarantee you, if you are in finance, if you are in HR, if you are in supply chain, you're in operations, and yes, if you are in CX, specifically sales, service, you're going to want to see those. You're going to want to see the ones that are also coming from the marketing cloud solutions like SAP Immersis. We've got the agents. They are working across the organization, and most importantly, and very, 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 very specifically for SAP, the thing to always remember about the deeper value here is that, yes, there are these agents that are for these functionally specific tasks, but they are pulling off of data that can come from across the organization, truly, truly from across the organization, from supply chain, ERP, HR, finance, etc. I'm also super excited about a lot of the enterprise service management solutions and the enterprise service management built-in applications, built into things like success factors, built into finance tools and solutions, but also as a standalone solution from SAP. You now have enterprise service management that is very much looking at those complex case scenarios where not just self-service or not just deflection, not just routing, where it is a complexity of potentially multi-departmental, multi-function, multi-process stages have to occur to truly have that service requisition from across the organization that might span multiple different systems, data sources, applications, people, whatever that's going to be. Enterprise service management is getting complex. That shouldn't surprise anyone. And oftentimes, a simple ticketing solution that just says, I've got a problem, I've got an answer, is not going to be enough to fill that need. And I think SAP is definitely seeing that. They have a very specific understanding and definition of ESM that I truly appreciate. And I think you're going to start to see more about them in that space very soon. Here's what I want to leave you guys with. For the last 3 weeks, I have spent a whole lot of time getting to swim around 3 letters that have been very near and dear to my heart for several years now here at Constellation Research. And that are the letters C. Well, the first letter is C, the last letter is M. Y'all know me well enough to know that middle number letter, it ain't on. All right, so it gets deep from that stuff. It's CPQ, right? It's not even M. Gosh, I can't even spell it. It's CPQ. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Anyway, CPQ, configure price quote, for a long time often gets relegated into this conversation about sellers. Like, oh my God, our sellers, they need a better quote. They need to have a better accurate quoting. Right. And I think for a very long time, we have started to see nuance and real innovation happen in a couple key areas. Quote to cash, something that Ray Wong talks a lot about. Sales and order management, something that my colleague Martin Schneider talks a lot about. Thanks to AI and thanks to business process automation, we have seen big strides in those spaces and places. We have seen new efficiency and rigor be brought to that sales order management process. But there's been something that fascinates me that's been happening over with CPQ. I think I touched a little bit about this at ServiceNow. I think I touched a little bit about this when I was at Pros last week, and I'm certainly going to talk about it now that I'm here at SAP. Because yes, I have heard CPQ be brought up by more executives. And I don't just mean like people who really like CPQ or like weirdos like myself who really think it's really cool and experiential. No, I mean like Christian Klein, CEO, talking about CPQ from the main stage, from the keynote, right? You have Mohammed Alam talking about how the proliferation of CPQ, where that data needs to come from, where that data needs to come from. And yes, you've got leaders in the CX portfolio here at Balaji who are talking about CPQ as such an important part of experience. And that, my friends, makes me truly happy because that's the pivot That's the pivot that I want to see. That's the pivot that gets me fired up about the category. It is an experience and it should be experiential. It should be immersive. It should be bidirectional. And yes, it should bring a whole lot of efficiency to quoting. And it should bring a whole lot of dynamic behavior around pricing. Yes, configure price quote should be something that is as efficient and performant for the business and for the seller as it is for the customer and the buyer. This is where we get the highest fidelity signal. This is where we get the intent. This is where we get a full understanding of exactly what our customer is thinking about, their needs and their demands, and how that need and demand aligns exactly with our product and our product portfolio. We start to see what they want, what they think of, what they might need. And we get to have the opportunity to build that relationship from there. It is much a part of a CX strategy as I've ever seen. But it shouldn't just be limited to a seller and a single customer. Absolutely, this is part of a self-service strategy. Absolutely, this is part of a customer data strategy. And absolutely, this is part of an experience strategy. This is part of a strategy that intentionally and specifically, purposefully drives durable, profitable relationships with our customers. If that's not what CPQ is doing, I do not know what y'all think it's doing. That is absolutely what it is here to do. And so I'm excited to hear about it from SAP. I'm excited to hear about it with intention and with purpose from folks at the very top of this conversation. I'm now like in minute 17. I know it's long. I've been rambling. I'm sorry. Last thought I'm going to leave with you guys today. Last thought, I promise. Christian Klein is having one hell of a time. He's having fun. He's like I know I said this about Bill McDermott at ServiceNow, who was doing a dance and doing a little jig. Christian has evolved so much as a leader of SAP. He has evolved so much as the chair of the executive board. He has evolved so much as a strategist and someone with a vision for this mainstay of technology. It would have been very easy for someone to not have had the conviction to keep at it. But even more so, what this Sapphire keynote showed the world was that this was a leader who could go and say, you know what, we didn't always get it right. And we weren't always 100% sure that our convictions, where we knew we needed to go, was going to land in the right spot. But that's where we want to go. That's where we want to be. We want to keep moving this organization forward. We want to be in the cloud. We want to be the AI organization. We want to make sure that your business goals, everything that you want to do with and for your business in service of your customer, in partnership with your customer, with the market, that all of those aspirations are made real. This is not about the dream of AI or the aspiration of AI. This is about how to make AI be a real, tangible part of your business and an integral driver of your processes. And I really appreciate that. Christian was getting laughs today from the stage, right? He poked fun at the SAP GUI. I mean, it was actually truly funny. Like, you heard the room really enjoy getting a laugh from that. So, to Christian, not that I think he's ever going to watch this, but if people like wait someone down the run, pass a rumor to Christian Klein, tell him this. Well done. Really well done. You didn't land the putt. You didn't get the hole in one. It's okay. You got plenty of mini golf in your future. But what you did land, where the ball did go into that hole with ease, is that your customers are excited to be on this ride for where SAP continues to grow and where SAP continues to move forward. And that right there, that is what everyone's looking for in a CEO. And that was what everyone's looking for in the executive board. They got a tremendous board. These people are like, this is fun to watch. This is a lot of fun to watch. So listen, it's late here in Orlando. It's hot. I'm gonna try to go cheat code that air conditioning unit. Just just gonna happen. Let's see how cold it can get in here. Listen, until next time, I will see you later. Listen, Holger and I filmed a little video that's going to air live on CRTV when it drops tomorrow. Live drops tomorrow. So you'll see those thoughts from us. But in the meantime, I'm going to go drink this cold, this frosty beverage of mine, this Sprite Zero. In the meantime, there's going to be more from SAP tomorrow. So stay tuned. See y'all later.